let's talk about this rider who did not get picked up, basically ordering a ride at 4:30 in the morning, Uber for 5 for a job, and she's demanding answers after it took 15 minutes to find the driver.
Is that the spinner?
Yep, that's the spinner time.
The spinner time. Well, first of all,
We
young
know that.
lady,
They don't.
young lady, 4:30 a.m. I don't know where she's at, okay, what city she's at, but if you have a 5 o'clock shift and you order a trip at 4:30, there may not be enough drivers out there. How about a reserved trip, young lady? But then on the reserved trip, she's probably going to get, ripped anyway. So she was like, no, I'm sure there are some drivers around. This is the classic, actually, example of what you were talking about on the previous segment. Like the headline of this segment was, whose fault is it? Hers, Uber's, or the driver? I'm not putting any of this on the driver. I'm putting it between Uber and her. If you're in that kind of rush, and if you really must make it somewhere at exactly 5 a.m. job shift, ordering your trip at 4:30, and I don't even know how far the trip is, by the way, right? It could be 20 minutes. So 4:30 a.m. is kind of early for drivers to be out there.
That's the dead time. There are not many drivers out at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So TikTok creator JC posted a video about her experience on December 15th. The video shows JC clearly ready for work. That means not much to me, but she's still at home. I hate Uber now, she said, because what do you mean I order my Uber at 4:30 and I have a trial shift for a job at 5 a.m. and it took 15 minutes to connect me to a driver? See, this is the uneducated rider. That she does not understand how the system works.
There's a silver lining. We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. 5 a.m. and it took 15 minutes to connect me to a driver, and I'm going to be late. The video has more than 2 million views as of this writing. In the caption, she writes, "That's my chance blue." I don't know what that means. Uber, get it sorted. Good luck. Whatever your name was. Several respondents suggested it could be due to driver selectivity. Does that mean decline and recline? And Uber offered, as the CEO said, if trips are not accepted, right, on our channel, Dara Khosrowshahi said, if you're not accepting trips, it's on us. That means they didn't price it right at 4:30 in the morning for some poor soul to go pick her up, right? I can imagine how that trip is going to go, by the way. Step on it, I'm late. I'm like, no, that's not going to work either. Several respondents suggested it could be due to driver selectivity. The app isn't acting up. Your ride just isn't profitable. Oh, welcome to our world, Casey.
Educating the passengers at 2 million views a pop.
Yeah. Well, 2 million riders got educated, I guess. A second person agreed. In your market area, Uber may be providing drivers with more upfront information regarding your ride than in the past. Drivers are increasingly selective. My hat's off to all those drivers, wherever she's at. In 2023, Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi told CBS Morning that drivers do frequently cancel rides with inconvenient destinations. Drivers,
gaslight?
Yeah, we don't cancel it. We just don't accept it. Drivers might also cancel because of a passenger's rating, a prior negative experience, traffic surges, or the customer taking too long to arrive. In short, it's probably a good...
In that whole segment, they said how they might cancel with drivers, or they might not pick you up, or whatever it might be. Did you notice, though, it's not actually the real problem here?
Oh, of course not. He's a good salesman. Well, he can sell ice to the Eskimo.
Yes, but okay, go ahead and finish.
Look, obviously they didn't price. I mean, that comment up top is dead on. The app isn't acting up. Your ride isn't just profitable. Done.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It really is two things, and if we're going to break it down to go with what you had titled it, whose fault is it, rider, driver, or Uber? Obviously, 0% goes to the driver, because the drivers out there saying, hey, this isn't profitable. We're running a business, not a charity. I don't care if you're running late for work. You should have known that. I don't, I'm going to say 4:30 to 5. Okay. you're thinking LA, I'm thinking Buffalo. There's a big difference between that. So who knows where she is, where she's going. I'm not even gonna put that. Her problem is, though, she is a good-looking girl, probably goes out every Friday and Saturday night, orders an Uber probably both times to go out and come back home.
Okay.
And yeah, you're probably getting picked up within 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So she's probably using that same exact logic. Oh, I'll just order an Uber. It'll be right down the street. No, at 4:30 in the morning, it's absolutely not. There are not a lot of drivers. Like I say, in Buffalo, bars are open till 4. Most drivers do not drive until 4. They will get off between 2 and 3. When you see a massive decline of drivers at that point here in Buffalo, even though bars are still open. 2 to 3 is like that hour where they just log off. And I'm sure that's probably very similar across the country. But then, 3, 4 to 5 in the morning, it's absolutely dead for drivers. There's nobody out on the road. So you might be, and you'll know this by the pickup times getting longer and longer or further and further away, depending on where you are. If you're obviously in a bar district still, you're going to be right down the street. There's going to be a pickup. But you'll start noticing that. So yeah, the drivers during that time frame are non-existent. So moral of the story is you have to look at it that way. You might not know. You might think, oh, there's a driver all the time. So that's where she's partially responsible. I'm going to say about 30% problem on her, about 70% on Uber, because I guarantee you that the drivers that were on, that they shopped this around to, was definitely unprofitable. Meaning those rides that came in, it just wasn't worth it for him to take it. Maybe it was too far to the pickup. Maybe the drop-off sucked. Possible. But I guarantee you the price that they were showing drivers was not worth it at all.
Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
The recommendation for Casey, right? Her name? Casey, the recommendation for you is, first of all, don't treat 4:30 a.m. like 12:30 p.m. or a.m. After the bar. Number 2, schedule trips, although they may or may not work either, by the way. But then you're almost guaranteeing yourself a trip if you do have a scheduled trip. And also, you can also use Lyft. I mean, she looked like she was only Uber customer.
Yeah,
just actually, like multi-apping, right? The rider has to multi-app too.
Yeah, who got the Rev by Lyft the other day? Did you?
The what?
Rev by Lyft. It's like their thing that they send out to everybody. Checking Lyft can save rideshare users millions, study finds. Basically, it's telling them, hey, did you realize that if you price shopped around, you'll probably see that Lyft is cheaper. So don't be using Uber. Just go to Lyft. Trust us, bro.
No, I mean, it is definitely something the riders don't do enough. They don't comparison shop. They just
more and more are.
You think so?
Absolutely. Do you know how many times I hear people now in the back seat? They're saying how they'll compare both now. There's a lot of people, because you got to remember how high prices are. Those prices are high for passengers, so they're starting to shop around. They're saying, look, Uber might be the go-to, but I'll look at Lyft. Sometimes Lyft is cheaper. It comes down to 2 factors: the price, and then how far away the pickup is, meaning the driver from you. That's essentially who's going to be, or like when they're actually going to get to the spot. If it's a 5-minute or plus difference, you might lean towards the quicker time, or it might be price sensitive. So people are starting to look, and I'm sure if you talk to passengers when they say that, they'll say that a lot of the times they'll check both at this point now.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, hopefully she learned her lesson, and then it wasn't a shift, it was a trial shift on top of that, meaning like secure getting the job depended on that. Imagine for a trial shift, you show up late.
Yeah. And that's why when I was leaving LAX and leaving LA last year, I went. I think my flight was like 6 o'clock in the morning or something, and I left downtown LA at 4:30. I'm like, I don't know it, and scheduled the trip, you know, the night before, because one, I don't know how it's going to look. Even though it's LA, you're probably going to have a driver, no problem. I got picked up at the time. Actually, they were there early, so we left and got there early. But you know, it's all about knowing what's going on. This person obviously didn't. They're thinking bar shift. They're thinking during the day, maybe going somewhere or whatever. There's a driver down the street. Most of the time, yeah, that's true. But during the dead time, during that 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, there are not a lot of drivers out there. And
For
you know,
sure.
a lot of things are closed at that point. Most stores are now closed. You know, bars are usually closed at 2 o'clock for most places, except for a few. That's 4 a.m. usually, Buffalo being one. And then flights don't really start picking up until about that 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, you have that lull where you're not doing really much anything. So that's why a lot of drivers aren't out there. So they need to understand that. They need to know that, because, you know, if you don't. But I think it was great, the fact that they had that in the article saying, hey, maybe it's because the ride's not profitable. Like, that was the first thing. So I'm hoping that passengers start seeing that more and understanding, yeah, if the ride's not profitable, what's going on here? And maybe they'll demand something where what's going on when it comes to it. Because if your customers are starting to complain, that's where you're going to see more change. Who gives a shit about the 6 million drivers? No, you'll give a fuck about the 200 million passengers that are going to be using the platform. I don't know where Sergio went. He got kicked off. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to say there. I'm going to say about 30% to this girl's fault and about 70% Uber's fault. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Put it in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are, because I'd be interested as well to see.
I think I'm going to go opposite of you. I think I'm going to go 70% her fault, 30% Uber fault. I mean,
really,
look, if you have that kind of a time sensitive thing going on, you should be up at 4, order the trip at 4, get to this trial,
well, again, it depends. It depends. You're thinking it, yeah, but you're thinking at it again from the LA side of things. I'm looking at it from Buffalo, and ordering a ride at 4:30 in the morning, there's no traffic. There is zero. I mean, you're going anywhere with zero traffic at that time. So I can get anywhere in 15 minutes across most of Buffalo. And so, you know, it all depends on where her actual spot is. Versus where she's going. She could be in LA. She could also be in Milwaukee. I mean, they're very different. So it just depends too. But the moral of the story is, you should have definitely been better prepared, not thinking it's our traffic time. But I think when it comes down to it, the drivers that are on board, if Uber would have actually made it enticing or profitable for a passenger to be picked up, that passenger probably would have been picked up.
Yeah. Well,
but when it comes down to it, the final thing that they said, order a scheduled ride. So then usually you're going to actually have somebody there, or you should have somebody there, and you're all right. All right. Thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.